Hi, I'm Allie, and I'd like to share some information with you on how to quickly and easily increase your restaurant's profitability by 25% or more within the first 60 days without increasing your prices or bringing in more guests to your restaurant. Let's start with a quick animation video that explains the logic and the numbers behind this simple way. You will see how a small impact on an average check generates that huge increase in profitability.
All restaurants across the USA are losing money every day. Here's Mike. He owns Mike's Trattoria. Mike tried a lot of things to increase his restaurant's sales: social media, training his staff, marketing promotions, and more. It all cost him a lot without the ability to measure if it's worth it. One day, his friend Joe, who owns Waterside Grill, called. Joe told him how he increased his restaurant's profits by over 25%. Just by changing the way he presents his menu, his customers started spending more. On average, each customer spent $1 more than usual. He did that without bringing in more customers or changing his prices. With the right tools, increasing average spend a person is easy. If 1 out of every 10 customers orders an additional cocktail, or 1 out of every 12 customers order an additional appetizer or dessert, that leads to an additional increase of $1 on average per person. As you know, I'm doing an average revenues of $80,000 per month. With profits of 8%, I was taking home $6,400 a month. Ever since I changed the way I present my menu, the additional increase of $1 a person among 4,000 covers I do per month leads to an additional $4,000 a month. Now, the only expense associated with that is my food and drinks cost, which is less than 30%. So out of the additional $4,000 increase in sales, I am netting an additional $2,800 a month. It's an additional $33,600 in profits every year. Adding $2,800 a month to my existing $6,400 is a huge increase in profitability. Actually, it's over 40% increases in my profits. That's a huge increase in profitability. I pay the same rent, same bills. Even my labor is the same as I serve the same amount of customers. My only additional expense is the food and drinks cost. I learned that the menu is the heart of your value proposition to your customers, and it's all about the presentation of the menu. If you can make your menu come alive, you gain the increase.
You just saw how small increments in revenue will result into huge profits without any additional expenses associated besides the food and drink cost. By taking Joe's restaurant's initial monthly income of $80,000 and dividing that by his existing covers of $4,000, you could see that Joe's average guest spend is $20. By increasing each guest's spend by an additional $1 from $20 to $21 resulted in a 5% increase in average spend per person, a very achievable goal. In fact, here are some live video feedbacks from restaurateurs already experiencing up to 9%.
My name is John Magnifico. I'm the general manager for the Newark Airport Marriott. We did a controlled study for 3 months, and what we did really was take one section of our restaurant and use the e-menus versus another section of our restaurant which used the traditional paper menus. We saw an average of anywhere from 6 to 12% increase in our average check over that 3-month period check.
An increase of over 15% all across the board between food, appetizers, wines, and drinks.
I think the increase in sales is about 9%.
7 to 9% of an increase.
I would definitely say anywhere between 8 to 9% increase in sales.
We reached a 5% increase from the beginning.
We've seen an increase roughly from $21 to some months as high as $23, $23.50 per average check for that entire month.
Within the first 3 months that my sales have raised between 8 and 10%, which is amazing.
10 to 15% more wines are sold.
I must say minimum 10 to 15% since we started.
This is not a self-ordering solution or POS system, but an on-premises menu solution designed specifically to increase the average spend of your guests. eMenu is designed to make you more money by making your menu come alive and encourage guests to buy. While people don't like to be sold, they do like to buy. You might be asking yourself why switching from paper menus to our eMenu solution generates higher check averages. Here are some examples how eMenu will impact your customer's decision to order additional food and drink items. Let's begin with Sky in Tampa, Florida. Here is their actual iPad eMenu. As soon as your guest opens the menu, it is working to get more wine sold. Once I tap the screen to go to the main menu where all the food and drinks categories are seen, every restaurant has its own customized design. There are no templates, so the menu iPad will feel like it's part of your restaurant. Let's start with their shareable category, which they call Now Boarding because they're an airplane-themed restaurant. Every dish has an image, which puts emotion into your dishes, and as we know, people eat with their eyes. This is why paper menus are causing you to lose money. While paper menus only have 3 elements, dish name, description, and price, here you have another element, which is the visual of the dish, which steals the focus of the other elements. Price is a pain point for many people. What we have found through multiple test pilots and studies is that the visual adds to the gain, which makes the price of the dish way less important as opposed to paper menus. In some cases, the visuals encourage customers to order certain dish or drink items that they wouldn't have before. Choosing what to eat off a visual iPad menu is an impulsive decision. Let's quickly do a comparison of a drink item from the paper menu to the e-menu. Which one do you think has a higher chance of selling? How about this dessert? Which one do you think has a higher chance of selling? An algorithm built within the solution tracks the browsing habits and patterns of your clients. For example, what categories are clicked, in what order, and for how long a person focused on a dish. By analyzing the data, it determines how, what, and when to promote a dish. It could be the order of the dishes in a specific category or what visual promotions to show. Like these cocktails here. E-menu can also present a wine and food pairing. This creates an awareness of the wines and makes it easy to order a glass of wine without any effort. Now let's look at the beverage menu of Mayella in New York City. Let's choose cocktails. By utilizing videos, we generate more focus on certain drinks and food items. This literally makes your menu come alive, and the menu is the heart of the restaurant. It's the core of what you offer to your clients. With a picture being worth 1,000 words, one video is worth 100,000 words. And lastly, let's finish with a dessert from the Skyline Rooftop e-menu. Let's click on the desserts button. If I read s'mores for $9 on a paper menu, I'm not sure I will order it, but seeing this video is a different story. In fact, some of our customers report that they doubled and sometimes tripled their dessert sales once they switched to iPad e-menu. There are many more features, such as menu that adjust according to time periods to optimize revenues, changing the menu language within seconds, highlighting upcoming events, and more, but let's leave that for a live conversation. Here are some frequently asked questions. Does this do self-ordering? No, this is not a self-ordering system. It is specifically designed to increase your average guest checks. We do not want to minimize the customer-waiter interaction. Your waiters would take orders as usual. Do I need to purchase any equipment? No. All the equipment you need is purchased, provided, and owned by eMenu International. How many iPads will I need if my restaurant holds 100 seats? Typically, the amount of iPads most restaurants need is equal to 30% of the numbers of seats in your restaurant. If you wanted more iPads, you have that option as well. Take into account that on average, the guest is browsing the menu for 5 to 10 minutes. So the iPads are rotating between the tables. iPads are not left out on the tables, but used like menus. You will bring them out when you need them. Can I still use paper menus? Yes, you can, but you may not want to. You will quickly find that with paper menus, your waiters will spend much more time at each table explaining the dishes to your customers. You will also see a decrease in your average check when using your paper menus versus the e-menus. What happens if an iPad gets stolen or breaks? The Apple iPads provided to you are insured by us, locked on your menu, and tracked. Should I be concerned about my older customers utilizing this iPad menu? In today's world, everyone has a smartphone. Often your older customers use their phone's light to see your menu. With backlighted pictures, it's also a lot easier to see your menu items than trying to read them. Fonts can be made larger if your customer chooses to do that. Would the light from the iPad disrupt my restaurant's ambiance? No, the brightness on the screen is adjustable. Is this something I can afford? Absolutely. The system is very cost-effective. It is designed to increase your average check and pay for itself with a fraction of the incremental revenues it produces. We have restaurants as small as 10 tables. You will also have a 90-day trial period. If you decide this is not the right solution for you, you can return back the iPads for any reason. Would it be appropriate to say that this is just a menu with pictures? Absolutely not. This is so much more than just a menu. There is a specific algorithm used that tracks menu browsing to better understand your guest's mindset. With that information, the menu can continuously be enhanced to promote specific items with higher returns you want promoted. Who sets up the iPads, enters the information, and takes the photography? We will do all the setup work for you. The only thing you need to do is schedule a day for us to take the pictures. What size are the iPads? We only use Apple iPads. You can choose between Apple Mini, which is 7.9 inches, to Apple regular iPad size 9.7 inches. How long does it take to get started? Typically, the approximate setup time is 4 to 6 weeks. How can I get my trial started? Click the link below or on the link in the description to schedule a live demo and get a quote. Or email us at info@emenu-international.com. Remember, success does not happen to you, but because of you and the steps you take to get there. I'll see you on the other side.